Hello my succulent friends, it's me Suze. It's morning and you know I thought it's time I better make a video. Actually I've been kind of hanging to make one, but I had the best intentions but I just didn't get there, to be honest. It's the weather's really cooled down. Last video I did, or one of the last ones I recall, it was about 28 degrees and I was just saying how someone was just giving us that last bang of warmth, and yes, the weather changed quite drastically and quite quickly. So it's cooled right down, but the benefits are things like this. Look at these violet queens now. Look at the colour that's happening. That's because it's cooling down at night. I'm so fortunate here in Melbourne and in Victoria, I guess, because the weather is just really quite perfect for growing succulents. Does help. I actually wanted to make a video yesterday, but I had a visitor come round and we just enjoyed a good chat. And then after she left, I thought, oh, I could maybe do a video now, and it was very windy, and I knew the wind was going to pick up in the mic, so I thought, well, I'll have to wait until tomorrow. Look at this sad little situation here. You can see signs of some rot there. It looks dehydrated, but lots of babies or offsets, and a weed, of course. This angle probably looks better, so I need to give this pot some of my special Susie love, and maybe we'll get round to that today. I got through a lot of my trays of cuttings and stuff from my front garden. Unfortunately, I didn't film it. Reason being was there was a YouTube channel I really enjoy watching. They go live, and in that particular moment I just felt like going through them and watching one of my own favourite shows. But I did get a chance to tidy up, which was good, on my table because it was getting a little congested. So there's a few things there I'll just show you guys. I've been mucking around with the chopsticks in this pot and just putting them behind some of the floppy, longer stems, and I'm hoping they'll grow upwards. So that will be interesting to see if that's effective. And plus it just looks cool. I love the pink color, and you can see the little tips now are getting little stressed pink coloring, which is just adorable, isn't it? And I love this pot. I've pulled it out and around, pulled it out because I've been spinning it around, so it gets a little bit more light in different directions. But look at all this action in here. It's bloody amazing, if you ask me. It just keeps giving, this pot. So this is a Echeveria pin, and it gets really lovely colours too when it's stressed out. I actually threw off a few flowers, you can see it has in there. I don't think this has ever really been completely dormant. It's just it just seems to always throw flowers, but I just chop them off. I think that has a lot to do with why there's so much going on in there, because it's not growing flowers, so it's really put all that good energy into making babies. I'm just going to leave that right there just for fun and wait for its bubbies. Alright, let's go over to the table and have a look, shall we? So I thought I'd show you a few different pots today, and maybe we'll go through some trays and do a little update on a few things. So anyway, so this one, first of all, for those who regularly follow may recall this pot. So it's a Echeveria Victor Cane, and in this section here I had cut a head off, and it grew through 3 new pups, and now it's got this beautiful little bouquet. There's some of the original leaves from the head that I took off, And because that grew so fast, I decided to do it again. So I did do that in a video, and so this technically is an update. So now it's throwing off a little pup on that cut there. There's something happening here. This was another spot that I cut, and that's doing it too now, which is great. And this one, which has got two happening. So I'm very pleased with how fast that's coming along. And I can spy with my little eye. There are lots of, if I can focus on those spots, there we go. A lot of leaf babies and stuff happening in the bottom there. So I'm very confident that these will grow quite quickly, just like this one did. I'll have a look back on the date when I cut it. I'll probably insert it right about now, somewhere along there. So that will be interesting to find out. I suspect it's been a couple of weeks. But this here, you couldn't even tell that, that I've done a head cut, really. And this here has grown so fast and full. It's really astounded me how quickly it's grown. So hopefully in a couple of months we'll really get some really nice full action there. So we'll see. There's another grapto that I did some cuttings of heads. Purple Delight, Graptopedilum. Graptopedilum was what I was looking to double check. Yeah, I'm very happy to see finally we're getting something happening. I've been periodically looking at it, waiting for something, but to no avail. But now I see it's starting to do what I wanted it to do, and obviously that leaf baby is quite a nice size now and on its own. And I'm sure you've spotted those other leaves, so doing some good stuff too. This one's okay, the roots haven't really settled. Just make sure there's no little mealies. No. So what I might do is just give that a tad bit of water. Oh, my water bottles are just crap. I've got to get better ones. That'll do, I guess. In my water bottle, it's hard to tell because it looks very clear, so I put a little dash of this Thrive in there because it's rich in potassium for flowers and roses, but I'm pretty sure I'll be fine with succulents. We'll see. It's a very well, it doesn't have a offensive scent. Let me try and open it one-handed. Have a whiff. Have a whiff again. You know, like sea salt, it just smells. No, it's actually quite pleasant. Very subtle scent. Yeah, sea salt, I guess it's, you know, stinky, that stuff. My dogs always react to it, so I don't use it. Alright, well, this is good. I feel like before I cut it, this was quite a pretty pot. Oh, nice one, Susan. Okay, guess we're propagating that one too. Anyway, it looked much better when it had its heads, and I feel like I'm wasting one of my better pots on this, but oh well, I'm not replanting. Look at that, it's not even planted in properly, that cutting there. This pot here, I don't think I've ever really shown it in my videos. So it's a Shaviana Hime, I'm not sure. But Shavianas are known for their frilly leaves. This is probably one of the first pretty little frilly I got. When I first got it, it was quite small. I nearly killed it. It had, I think it got a bit of rot, and then it got a bit of sunburn, and I had to really reset it by pulling off a lot of the leaves, and over time it's really recovered quite nicely. This last year that's passed, it's really taken off, and the colours in this light here at the moment, it's not doing it justice, but it has a really beautiful mauve, grey tone to it, but it can also get quite iridescent, a little bit like the what are they, the neon breakers, when it's really got some stressed colours. But I brought it out because I spotted some babies. Okay, I'm kneeling down now. So there's one there, all flat and squished. And I think I should take it out. What else is happening? So we've got a castaway, as I like to call them. I don't know how that got in there. Maybe I threw something in there by mistake or it fell in there. It's well rooted. So they're roommates, they're buddies. We'll just leave that one. Oops. Wait. Come on, you got another baby for me? This is new. I've never pulled out leaves, leaning down and doing it looking through my camera. Oh, got 3 at one time. That was pretty cool. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let's get this out of the way. Oh, is that the same one? I don't know how many times I've spun around. One. Oh, it's the same one. What a shame. Oh, okay. Well, let's get it. I can't do this while I'm filming like this to get it. I need 2 hands. Just trying to decide if I should use a knife or scissors. I think I'm just going to use these little scissors. There's not much of a stem. It seems to be coming straight off the main stem, like it doesn't have its own stem. It's very close. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like I cut through it, but it feels like it's secure in there still. I wonder if it's rooted up a bit. No. Yeah, it is a bit. It's like a little delicate operation. It's quite fiddly under there. Don't want to damage any of the leaves. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. That was a surprise. It's got quite a big root system. It's mealy free too, so that's nice. Just a quick look under there. So there you go. So there it was. Awesome. Right, just need to pot that up. So I'm just going to quickly pot this up while I can. So my very first baby, that is just the coolest thing. Very happy about that. I've got a little concoction here. This is systemic granules, and I mixed in some cinnamon. So this is a merely preventative measure. And I'll just get a little bit of that and pop it in the pot. So hopefully it will unflatten out. Is that a way to say it? Open up, because it's really obviously because it's been squished under her mummy's skirt. Just put a bit of top dressing in there so when I water it, those lower leaves don't get any rot, or help prevent that possibility. That'll do. Getting a bit skimpy on my top dressing. I've got to go and buy some more. I'm thinking when I go get another bag, I might actually get some different rocks, because they've got a few to choose from. They're actually for landscaping, primarily what they sell them for. There we go. Alright, that's done. What's next that I wanted to show you? So I'm up the other end of my table, just to give you a bit of perspective. And I've got a few trays here. At different times I've had this table full of trays, and I just find it just takes up too much space, so I'm being more selective of what goes here. But since I've recently worked with some jelly beans, I got some leaves, and they're already starting to root up a little bit. This tray I've just used crushed rocks as a medium. I've mentioned that before because that I have some left over, so why not? This is not exciting. Francisco Bordi cuttings, some strings that I'm not very hopeful about. These are just some cuttings, topsy-turvy. This one had mealies. I cleaned it up, so I'm just keeping an eye on it there. This is the one that I wanted to show you. So for those who don't follow along regularly or hadn't seen the video, I bought a Aeonium sunburst crest, and it was a little bit sunburnt, but I got a little over enthused and I overwatered it, and it got rot, so I had salvaged it by cutting off the rot, and I was fortunate it didn't hit the main head, and so you can see some roots are starting now, so I'm quite pleased with that. I gave them a little bit of spritz of water the other day when I was tidying up around here. This is impressive, that's really happy. And that as well. And I don't think much is happening with these little pieces. Give it a little water while the planes are flying overhead. So that's good. I'm not ready to plant these yet. I'll just wait till we get some real substantial roots. Those are just some simple leaves from, what is it? Sedum patrophyllum. And they're getting a little bit of roots, but nothing worth really looking. This tray is kind of fun. This is Grapp Mendoz, and when I was doing some maintenance on a pot that had some, I had collected some leaves, and they've got some really cute little heads happening now, and some roots. These are not from the leaves, these are just little heads that I cut off, and even those are rooting up. So that's cool. I am not going to water this because these leaves are very sensitive to going jelly with water on them because they're small. So no, I am not. No, skip. Okay, this is really why I'm coming over here. So this is part of our experiment with the Grapto Supreme, and this is the tray of leaves, and so this is a progress, and quite a few of them are starting to throw off little heads, which is good. So it's heading in the right direction. Not a substantial amount of growth. I kept that to see if something would come off the stem. Does not seem to be, but sometimes it happens. But over here is the pot that we're using as a comparison to see which method is growing faster. So if you recall, these are the flower bloom stems, and they are the flower bloom leaves, most of them. And so it's thrown off 2 pups there. Actually, that one on the right might actually be a flower. We'll see. Okay, just let it be. And that's thrown off a pup as well. This one was a regular stem, and that was its head. So that's thrown off a baby there. Yes, and that's its head. And although it's looking a little bit sad, it has thrown off lots of roots. So that's quite awesome. But if we compare the size of these pups coming compared to the leaves, I still think this is a better method. Maybe as far as quantity of the yield might be less, so you might get more per se with a bit more patience waiting for them. You can see there's another one coming there as well, so we'll keep watching these and we'll see. This all needs a bit of a water, doesn't it? Oh, that's what I didn't show. These are rooting up as well. I won't dig those up, but so that's good. A bit more soil in there would probably be good, but not now. And while I'm here, I had another pot that I found. These are sedum clavitums, and they were beheaded as well. So, sorry, a bit dirty there. So 1, 2, little action there, little action there, there as well. So lots of stuff happening, and these are definitely rooting also. So let's give that a little bit of water. This water bottle has some of that thrive. It's a very minute amount of thrive. I didn't measure it, I just put a little dash in. Right, okay, what else? Oh, these are little pups that I found on some leaf bloom stems, so they're rooting now too, just a little bit. This one probably looks like the healthiest one, just starting, so they could all do with a bit of water as well. I'll do that later. This is a recent tray. They're just Francisco Bordi leaves from a flower bloom, nothing exciting there. These are the leaves from the bluebird head chop, and nothing yet. They're very thin at the end, and I'm not holding my breath, to be honest. I did just check the bluebird head for any signs of roots, and maybe just something might just be beginning, but it's not worth showing yet. I'm really leaning over here, over the table of a shelf there as well. These are Echeveria tricolour leaves, so this has come out of my front garden. They're regular leaves, not flower bloom leaves. The dogs were roughhousing out the front, and they ran into my cluster and popped off a whole bunch of leaves. Did I get upset? No. I thought, I will propagate them. I'm even tempted to sell some if people are interested. Maybe not necessarily from this tray, but I can get some fresh ones. Not sure how much I would charge for them, but you know, maybe a dozen for, I don't know, maybe $10 or something, less maybe, I don't know. Hadn't really thought about it. So this table here is a little old table. I just got all my bits and pieces on there. It's quite cluttery, but you know, for me it seems organized. I don't want to lean over the table anymore. I'm going to go around the other side. We all have our little propagation stations, don't we? Some of us have got quite an extensive one, and it really just comes down to how much size and space you have to work with, because it can get quite congested. This is what's happening on the other side. So this is just a recycled shelf, and you can see it's morning and some sunlight's coming along. We just hold some spare pots and bibs and bobs there as well. Hang on, so this is where we were before. These are Echeveria white rose pups. So I've got a beautiful head in the front garden, and as I've told you, I've got some mealies happening in some of my succulent beds. Anyway, these were pups off those. So these actually had some aphids and stuff. So I actually washed these. Normally I get brushes and brush them out, but I do wash them as well. And that's what I did with these, because they have farina. Still looks like there's still another one in there. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with these, because clearly they're not that pretty. So they'll probably just sit here for a while until I decide. And some of them have got some roots. Maybe when they get more roots, I might cut out some of the ugly leaves. Right, I'm not big on leaf propagation anymore, really not. I've done that and it was fun, but just too slow and takes up too much space for me. So sometimes I just put them in containers and just hold on to them. This is a fresh container of Black Prince leaves from a flower bloom. These are just some randoms, and there's some things happening there. I should care more, but I don't. I really don't. I don't have the time. So these are just growing, like people call this like air propagation, no medium, and it works just as fine. So that's quite a nice one there. And pretty pink roots. Aren't roots when they're pink like that? They're just something about them that's very attractive. That's doing well. And a few other bibs and bobs that are happening. So yeah, okay, back to this shelf. How are we going to do this? Okay, hang on. I often work on this top shelf here. You can see it's all stained from water and stuff. So I just pull up whatever I want to work on. It's a good height too. Got a few pots here I wanted to show you as well. Actually, I want to work on this one. I want to take off all those offsets. So it's not too much of a long video. Might do that. Oh, the wind's really picking up. Okay, there's my trusty tweezers over there. So this is my preferred method of propagation these days. I'm going to talk up a bit, try and speak over the wind. So this come out of my front garden, and you know, I cut off bits that I didn't like, various reasons. I've talked about all the reasons what I'm doing out there, very slowly what I'm doing out there. But so I've got some heads that I've put in there, and they're already starting to root up. This is an old recycled meat tray from the supermarket. I've punched holes through the bottom so it has drainage, so I can water this. But I've kept all this sort of stuff. You can see that's where its original roots. Because potentially things can grow on them, not always. I'm trying to find an example where that's happening. I think it's still too early. Yeah, don't really have one. to show you. So we'll keep an eye on that. If something happens, I'll update you guys. Alright, I'm trying to stand in front of the sunlight, so if I move across it gets glary. Next tray, some perforata, string of buttons. These look quite sad and sorry as far as dehydration. Where did this come from? Yeah, from the front garden and from one of my pots. So it was just stuff I just wasn't happy with, and I'm just going to propagate them. So I'm already getting some roots, but really I have another tray somewhere, don't I? Just looking for it. Yeah, I think I must have used them. So this is a good example of one. So it's throwing some offsets there. Now I'm sure many of you are very, very familiar with this, but what I love about it when you do a cutting is it always splits into two. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Some of this stuff will do well, some of it won't. Some of them are very short. Actually, I think the shorter ones will look better long term because like this one. Because once it starts happening on the top, it will grow off its things. These leaves will probably go, and then you've got a nice looking plant. Whereas on some of the longer pieces, so that's already starting to root up. But whatever happens on the top, this bottom end's going to look yuck. So it's probably better to cut them shorter, but I didn't. I guess I was just really rushing through it. Not too worried about them. To me, it was just it was more like some rubbish, and see what happens really. I've shown this before. So these were offsets and little bibbly bobs that I've kept. So this is a good example. I won't pull it out because I can feel it's really rooted, see? Let me just get in front there. So right here, we're getting a baby. So that would have just been rubbish. This leaf is not going to do well. I should just pull it off. That's rubbish. Let's see. There. So keeping these little stemmy bits does work. I think it's better than leaf propagation personally. So these are looking alright too. Okay, so it's a quick update on that because I have shown that a few times. This is one of my remaining trays of jelly beans. Remember, I used a lot of jelly beans in a recent arrangement. So again, I'm just sort of seeing how this whole section takes off. It's basically a set and forget. I just leave them here and come back every once in a while. It's going to be tricky pulling this one. Okay, nearly there. It's heavy. So these are a bunch of crests. These are what is it again? Briar rose, Echeveria briar rose, and these are just offsets that I've just taken. Long story, but they're rooting up. They're a little bit sensitive, I find, the briar rose. I'm quite sick of them, to be honest. I don't think that's one. I think that's an agavoides. Yes. Anyway, this tray here. Some more cuttings. These are, what are they called? Lucidum, I think is how you pronounce it. They're like a fatted jelly bean. I quite like them. So this is just something I've chopped up as well. And so I've done, see, roots. Yep, it looks like that's about to grow something there too, which is cool. Bunch of cuttings. A lot of these are rooted up. I could probably pot them up. Okay, camera's telling me low battery. This is one of the things I recently did. I should have showed you guys. I think you would have found it interesting. This stuff came out of my garden. I believe it's a Echeveria jewel, but it was labelled as, oh, what was it? Cloud dust or something. Had an unusual name that I didn't get any hits off from the internet. So I'll just call it a jewel. It's not really that important, but this is cinnamon. So it had mealies. I basically chopped out all the damage, and I'm just going to see what grows from where I've cut it. I'll probably just leave it here, to be honest. But it's quite a pretty plant when it's doing well. And there's a few leaves in there as well. Probably could chop that more or use the leaves for propagation, but not too fussed again. I'm just going to leave that and see what happens. Derenbergii, there's some offsets, some bibs and bobs. It's doing quite well actually. It's very heavy. It's just a bunch of randoms, it's nothing exciting. Right. Okay. So what was this one? Lazarus. I love that name. So it's another frilly type of Echeveria with that sort of bluey green tone leaves. It gets pink margins, but it's very crowded in there, and it's been a good little mama. It just fell out, and growing lots of little offsets. So I think I need to remove those. Mealies do like it, aphids do like it, which is a shame. I'm at this point now where I feel like culling my collection down to ones that mealies don't like just sell them, get rid of them, move them on, and don't focus on them anymore, because the amount of effort that you go into keeping them mealy and bug free, it's just exhausting. So I don't know, stuff that's rattling around in my mind. Lots of things rattle around in my mind. This is sad. This is very sad. I know there's this one's been plagued with problems, but so I cut out the centerpiece and it's through something. It's thrown flowers. Just not. I don't know. Not happy about where it looks. It's another one of those diva Echeverias, blue hazel. This one has sort of fatter leaves. They're a bit more substantial than these. These are a bit more flimsy. But there is some stem action, which is nice. Yeah, so that needs some attention. I think I have to charge my phone now. I don't think, I know I do. But I would like to work on these two pots next. Okay, let's hope I don't get a phone call or any distractions today, and I'll be back shortly when my phone's charged. Right, Lazarus. Hello, baby. No good. Oh, that's a bit of a bad sign. Sorry, it's just had a quick look at Facebook. Hi Janet, just saw your video. You've been a busy girl, haven't you? Spring has sprung and she is out and about. She has been visualizing all winter and figuring out what she's going to do when the weather hits, and she's gone hard, so go girl. I'm very, very happy for you. And for all the other Americans, she's in Connecticut, I believe, and all the other North Americans who are experiencing the opposite season to us, which is lovely spring for you guys. So I'm very happy for you. I love hearing what you're getting up to now. Many probably very similar to Janet. Just looking out to the wind. Sort of an angry wind day. You know, it just feels like it's a little bit pissed off, the wind. Anyway, yeah, so all of you over there on the other side of the world, you're getting into your garden projects, I am rooting for you. I love hearing about what you're up to. So you can speak to me here on the YouTube comments, but you can also find me if you enjoy Instagram or Facebook. Over there is S is for succulents, and you know, they're actually better places for me to see what you get up to as well. Gee, just taking a few leaves out, it just looks already better, and probably could grow into a nice little clump. But no, we're about propagation, and this baby has given me, I should say this mummy has given me babies. I'm just trying to have a look deep in there and what's happening with this head, because it is the largest and I want it. I want you and I'm going to get you. Wow, these leaves falling out like this is not a good sign. So that is an indicator. Always like let your plants indicate and speak to you. So what that's speaking to me about is water is not getting into the pot, and so because it's too congested, there's too much going on in there. It doesn't have access. The water doesn't have, you can't access it properly. So that's why some of these leaves are getting a bit rotty. But they seem to be lower leaves, so that's not too concerning, because lower leaves, you know, it's just the end of their cycle. Sometimes they rot off, sometimes they just dry off. Yeah, that's in good. Alright, we're going to have to cut her out. I really want to capture those parrots one day. I'm pretty sure they're... again, no. Maybe this top head might have an issue. That's why that's happening. Yeah, I think they're parakeets and rosellas, which are both beautiful birds, very colourful. They've obviously got a lot to say. There's quite a lot of them that fly around and live in that big gum tree. I think I need a better camera to capture them. One day I will. And that's mainly for the American viewers who might find that a little bit fascinating, that in Australia we just have parrots just flying around. A lot of people who live in different states and maybe outside of the larger cities, it'd be a very common sight, a very common sound, and probably a lot more other birds such as cockatoos and, you know, mainly the white cockatoos, but there's black cockatoos, all sorts. Anyway, I digress, but I'm very proud of Australia and what we have to offer, so I'm always going to talk up my country. Anyway, look at that. That is beautiful, isn't it? The light is a little bit hard to work with here. It's either very dark or very bright. lights, morning lights coming in that direction, as you could probably tell. I wonder if I can resituate this a bit differently. I have to move my frame. No, I don't know. Anyway, let's not worry too much. Okay, let's get that tag out for a sec. So, Echeveria cultivar Lazarus. Does anyone recognise the misshaped tag? This is from that nursery that I go to. It is Aurorama. Some of you will know who they are. They've actually about a half an hour drive away from where I live. I go there quite frequently. Really nice people who run it. Quality of plants for succulents can be a little bit mediocre there, but in general they have some really great plants, and it's mainly mediocre because they just have a table and obviously they just sit there, and some of them get a little elongated or other issues, but they do have some really interesting cultivars. And he has an amazing landscape garden. It's like it's a huge property where it's just beautiful. There's a real creative element. He works in art as well from local artisans, especially sort of heavy rusted iron things, which just they look spectacular. Okay, anyway, I'm not sure if they're the best place for plant mail, and I'll leave it at that. But all in all, I do have positive things to say about them. And we bought our Japanese maples from there and some other plants. And the fellow who owns it, he is a top bloke. I can't recall his name right now, but I've had some wonderful conversations with him. He's very passionate too. I've noticed you nearly have to take a number to speak to him. Everybody, he's running around his place, and it's such a big space he takes care of. Obviously he's got staff there, but you know, there's always something to do, and he's clearly trying to get on with it. And people just want to stop and ask him questions, and he's so patient and he's so enthused, and I really respect that about him. He's actually from the same sort of circles that my supplier friend is part of, because it's all in that sort of area of Victoria. I think they knew each other when they were younger. Hello, Spidey. Hello. So they say in Australia we have big dangerous spiders. This is probably not one of them, though it could be, who knows. I'm not scared of spiders. I just have an attitude that they're not going to hurt me, I'm not going to hurt them. Mind you, is he still walking on me? I don't think so. Mind you, some of the other states like New South Wales, they have is it the funnel web? I don't know. They have one big black one that is common in households. So yeah, I guess you do have to be a bit cautious. We get redbacks here, but I don't know. You just know where they usually are, and you just know how to just have a good look before you get in there. There's another quite pretty baby. There's some roots too. I didn't think I'd have much to talk about, but listen to me, I'm just yakety yakking now, aren't I? I'm wondering if I should leave them. So there's about 3 in there. I think I will. Just a little bit longer. I was expecting to see more mealies than aphids. And I'm not, which is great. I think this particular Echeveria would probably do a lot better in a larger pot. It would probably get quite a good size on it. As most sort of frilly types, it's not a heavy frilly, it's just a little mild frilly on the leaf. So okay, so another one fell out. That's interesting. What if I just touch all of them? How many more want to just say no thank you. Yeah, that one as well. Wow, that's really not a good sign at all. Though it looks healthy. Do you see rot? I don't really see rot. Yeah. Yeah. No, these ones feel good. They don't feel like they're going to pop. I'm just going to leave that. That's done. It's done. That will do for now. That's all I want to do. Will these propagate? I'm very, very doubtful. First of all, because they fell off, so that's a sign that they're not healthy. And second of all, if they were healthy, I still wouldn't think they will, because I think every succulent has its preferred method, its own personal preferred method of propagation, and I think Echeverias don't do well with leaves. Possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think it takes a long time. And look, I've got 2 large pups here, and we've got about, I don't know, about 4, maybe 5 little offsets still hanging out, and that's just happened all on its own through summer, through the growing period, through its growing season. So you know, it propagates that way, not that way. So I wouldn't waste my time. But others, you might find it more challenging, or I don't know. Not for me. Right, now the center. Maybe that is all aphid. Don't know. I don't think so. It's actually a lot less bug infected than I thought it was going to be. Maybe the light. For you, the light might look okay in the camera. For me, it's a little bit dark. So all I'm going to do is just add some systemic to the base, and I'll water that in. Just sort of remove a little bit of that top dressing to access its root system a bit easier. I'm really not fond of this little shovel thing. They come in those little toolkits you get for a regular old spoon, to be honest. Nevertheless, it was handy, and I have it here. So good watering in is pretty much what needs to happen, but I think this will help start dissolving it, and I'll give it a better washing later on. Oh, 3 pups. Pardon me. 3. And they're a good size, aren't they? Roots. So these could be potted up, but I'm not going to do that. We'll put the tag back. I like mine to just sort of hang out bare for a while. I'm thinking I might get more into just selling things just like this without even bothering to pot it up. You may be interested to know I did sell, I better get a label for that, that's what I'm thinking. I did sell some succulents recently to a friend of mine. I've sold to her before. We follow each other on Instagram. Her name's Mimi. She has a beautiful collection. Let me just put her profile name there. Go have a look. She's got beautiful pots. She really does. Anyway, so she saw a post on Facebook where I was showing off a bit. I was showing off my ginormous Mexican giant pups that had grown out of the garden, and she said, I'll buy those when you have your sale. And I thought, God, I'm being such a slack ass that by the time I get my sale around, the ages. So I just said to her privately, I'm just cutting these flowers off. We can arrange something between the two of us. So she bought those and a few other cut-ins that she was looking for, and I posted it on Monday, got there to New South Wales, posted Monday morning, pretty much next morning, so I was pleased with that. I have the postal app on my phone, so when I put my phone number in, it sends me notifications on where it's up to, which is always helpful. Tech these days, you can really use tech to your advantage for these sort of situations. Anyway, so her parcel arrived. She sent me a photo yesterday, and I'll tell you what, I always, like, it's like you're holding, no, sorry, it's really windy. Let me just wait for that to pass. Okay, that's probably as best I'm going to get it. Yeah, it's always like you're holding your breath when you send a parcel, and you can exhale once it arrives there safely, because I have had some incidences where the parcels have been lost or damaged, and it breaks your heart and you feel so bad for the person. It's not like, you know, you grew those babies, those succulents, and if they get lost, you're like, where are they? And then, of course, the customer, you know. So anyway, I was really rapt when I saw that they arrived there. Well, just want to get this little nubby bit. It's like a leaf I've tried to pull out. I've tried to pull out, and I didn't get it completely off, so I wanted to remove that. So I'm sure I cut the center point out because of mealy damage. You know, it's not like you can't get, it's not, I don't just cut it out because I want to get rid of the mealies. I do want to get rid of the mealies, but the mealies have damaged the leaves, so they're not pretty anymore. So I don't even see what's the purpose of growing them out, because you're just going to grow out ugly leaves. It just takes forever. So I just think, get rid of them. You're out of here. And yeah, sorry, I'm really hyper-focused on just that little tiny little blob there. Here is my neuroticism showing its ugly head, that I got to do this. Just gotta, and I'm doing it terribly. Okay, just move away from it for a minute and finish what you were saying, which now I have forgotten. When I go back and edit, I'm going to go, oh, that's what you were talking about. Oh yes, mealies, cutting out centre parts. So yeah, I just don't see the point in keeping it. And you will get in your head, as I've demonstrated over and over and over. I'm mucking up the farina, doesn't matter. Look, that weird phenomenon has happened again. Heart shape. It has like a divot in the leaf. It's not like something's eaten it. It's grown that way. I know mealies can affect the shape of leaves and distort it, and potentially that's what that is, but that is too uniformed. I'm using my Snoopy abilities, my detective mind, to try and figure out what's happening. Please speak up if this has happened to you before. See, there's one there, there's one, you can't see. There's one knife, one there, one there. It's like it's inverted. Rather than popping out, it's going in. Kind of reminds me like an belly button, an innie versus an outie. These are innies. Oh, I guess some belly buttons is more an outie. That's unusual. But anyway, and I don't know what that is. I don't like it. Might be a bloom or a yucky leaf. I just got a whiff of cinnamon. I might have it in what I've sprinkled some in these pots around me, so it's windy and must be picking up its scent. Okay, that's enough for mucking around with that. So I've taken the flower blooms off, which is obviously attracting those kind of pesky bugs that we don't like. So that's helpful. That's probably as pretty as I can get that there. Now I want to have a look underneath. Blue hazel, see the same tag, Ororama. Ororama. I think it's named after a mountain in Europe. I kind of remember reading the backstory. Oh, look. Hello, little guy. Are you alive? Yes. Now, is that creeping anyone out? Honestly, because I think he's adorable. I'm trying to steady my hand and focus the camera. Oh, cute. These are the cute spiders. Aren't they? The little jumpy ones. Well, I did say I like spiders. I might just might move him over into the other pot. We can just hang out on that leaf. Right. Zoom back in. Focus back in. So that's really put me off using the systemic. I don't know if it hurts spiders. It's not like spiders actually eat the plant, and because that's how the systemic works. The plant sucks it up through the roots, and then therefore the plant is poisoned. But spiders don't eat plants, do they? So I think it's still safe. So there's a... This is even weirder. Okay, there's its offset. It's pup, quite a mature one. But I can see on the stem of the pup, it has its own pups. What? I'm sure they're on the stem. I'm going to cut that off and we're going to have a look at that. That's interesting. Or I could leave it. Should I leave it? Yeah, I'm thinking I'll leave it because if I cut it off, those little babies might struggle. They might do better if I just leave it. I think I should leave it. But can you see what I'm saying? Huh. Fascinating. Just to leave it a little bit longer. Oh, I know why. There we go. There's our answer. Because I cut the center point out. And so now it's thrown off its own offsets. And there might be something growing there. I think it's got a little bit too much cinnamon on it. Sorry, I'm shaking. No. Alright, well let's leave that. That's interesting. And that's doing a similar thing. I thought I was going to take them off, but I'm not. I'm going to let the mama plant still work with them. Alright, so we'll leave that and we'll keep an eye on it. Oh, I don't see any mealies. Obviously I've sorted that out by cutting out the damage. I should make notes and put tags on things when I put systemics in there. But again, I'm not that organized. So I'll just add a little, just to be on the safe side of my little concoction. Alright, I think we're going to call that a day. Well, I'm going to end the film here. Do some editing. Fingers crossed I might be back. Who knows? Who knows indeed. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your time with your plants. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you're doing. And I'll talk to you guys another time. Bye for now. I wanted to sincerely thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribe to my channel. Also, you can find me as sisforsucculents on my Instagram and Facebook page, where I post daily photos with tips and information. So come and hang out with me there. It's a great place to chat and connect. Thank you.